Hey guys, this is Mike from Big Ocean Dive. In today's video, we are talking about, are your kids ready to learn scuba diving? All right, so are your kids ready? First of all, kids can learn to become a certified diver once they reach the age of 10. If you want them to experience diving beforehand, they can start at 8. And they could do something called the Bubble Makers or the SEAL team, which is completely pool-based. They will not get a certification to go to the island when they turn 10. They will still have to do the PADI Junior Open Water course. The PADI Junior Open Water course is the same program as the adult version. So that's something to really keep in mind, because an instructor will teach them the adult course. And if you don't have a school that is designed to teach kids or have thought about teaching kids, that program can be very overwhelming for them. So make sure that the school or instructor you're picking has a program designed for kids. So in today's video, I will be using my experience from running Big Ocean Dive for the last 8 years, where we focus on kids and families. Actually, 40% of our students are ages 10 to 15. As we've just learned, as long as your kid is 10 years old, they technically can start the program. Now, there's a few things to remember. Just because they can do it doesn't mean they should do it. And we're gonna go over how to assess that. Right, so when they're 10 and 11 years old, they'll be a junior open water diver with a max depth of 12 meters. But the key thing is that when they're 10 and 11, they'll have to be accompanied by an instructor or a dive master. They can't just buddy up with their parent and go diving. With your kid, a lot of the times, parents know their kids better than anyone else. And you don't need me to tell you if they're ready to dive or not, because you'll feel in your gut. And if you have some reservations, trust those reservations, speak to a dive center, walk them through the thoughts in your head, and then you guys can decide together. But on the other hand, you will know that if your kid is a fish, if you take them to the pool and they dive in the deep end and they're swimming under to catch the toys and they cannot leave the water, even if you beg them to get out, they want to stay in for hours, then your kid is probably ready to try scuba diving. If your kid is the opposite of that, it does not mean that they can't go scuba diving, but you should really take your time with it. Make sure that they really want to do this. A lot of times what we'll see is that the kid doesn't want to do this, that it's the parent that is saying, oh, I want my kid to dive with me, or I've always wanted to do this, my kid should do this now. So having dreams for your kid is absolutely fine, but make sure that when they sign up, that they're as bought in, as committed as you, because they're the ones, when they're underwater, are gonna be by themselves with their own thoughts, with their own feelings, having to do these skills and learn this new, can be intimidating thing for some kids. All right, now another one is that we need to consider is how self-aware are your kids in scenarios. If they hear a loud noise on the surface, do they panic, or do they kind of look around curiously and try to understand what's just happened? Do they freak out in dark rooms? Under pressure, how do they handle that? Are they going to be focused and paying attention to the reef to understand that they're floating out? Are they going to be looking away and getting distracted and losing track of where their instructor or dive buddy is? Okay, so these are all things that you know about your kid that can be taught in diving through a lot of experience and one-on-one teaching, but use that best judgment that you know about your kids. All right, so the main thing that I want to wrap up here is that I think teaching kids to scuba dive is one of the best things you can do for your kids. And I genuinely believe that because I started to learn to dive as a kid. You learn how to trust other people. You learn how to communicate. You create deep bonds with friends and mentors through this program as well. You also push yourself in an environment that is controlled by people, but you have to face your fears. So that builds confidence, that builds character. Another one that's really important for self-esteem is that not every kid gets the opportunity to learn to dive, or can learn to dive, or does learn to dive. So if your kid has something that they've learned, that they've been good at, and that they're passionate about, that can set them apart from other people, and that builds self-worth, self-esteem. So these are very important things for kids at that age to have and to develop. So that is something that I want you guys to remember, that this is one of the most amazing things that you can give a kid. And you know your kids better than anyone else. And if you would like to learn to dive, send us an email. Let's run through it. Let's meet your kid. Let's see if he's comfortable around equipment, and we can make that decision together. So this has been Mike from Big Ocean Dive, and I hope that this video has inspired you and your kids to finally learn to dive, because it is an amazing, beautiful thing. But remember, do it when you are ready, when you feel comfortable and safe. Thanks, guys. See you next time. Hey guys, if you got value out of this video, please consider subscribing, liking, and leaving us a comment. We'll be happy to hear from you and answer your questions. Please also follow us on social media. We're on all platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, anything that floats your boat. We'll see you on the next video. Thank you.